Because see, for an academic, right, there's a distinction made between transhumanism and post-humanism. Right, and post-humanism is a better known term, I think, in a more public way, and it has a lot to do with the sense in which the human is kind of the beginning of the value enterprise, right? Because like Zoltan, for example, says we want to be able to live forever in our own bodies. Obviously, the human is taken to be a kind of ultimate value, and what you're trying to do is to extrapolate it as far as it will go. And that's transhumanism. That's a very natural understanding of transhumanism. And you might say that everything about us isn't necessary to remain human, and so as a result, we can be prosthetic and we can upload, and that's another kind of sense of transhumanism. But then there's this other thing called post-humanism, which is also very popular and does overlap with some of the interests of people here. So when you start hearing about people worrying about the suffering of animals, right, and worrying about, robots as independent beings that maybe have their own kind of life world and so forth, then you're entering into a realm where you're sort of you're relativizing value. You're saying, well, there's human value, there's animal value, there's robot value, right, and we need to respect all of that, and that's post-humanism, because the human is no longer the focus of the enterprise, okay? And we do have people who do call themselves transhumanists who, to my mind, very often sound more like post-humanists. Right, because in a sense they want to displace the human as being the beginning point. Zoltan doesn't have this problem. Zoltan is quite clearly rooted in the human, and that's why there's a sense in which it makes it, I think, a much more viable political enterprise, because insofar as our politics is ultimately concerned about human beings and then everything else after human beings, okay, he's onto something there, right? I don't object to the word, and I think the word actually does do some very important conceptual work if people are alert to this.